Nikola Jokic will win the MVP. Take it or shake it.
Shake it!
Shake it.
It's not gonna happen, man. I get it. Joel Embiid is playing great. So is Joker. But it's LeBron. LeBron's going to carry the Lakers until AD gets back, whether they drop one or two games along the way. This is a situation where here's a guy who should have won it last year. Clearly, he didn't get it because they gave it to Giannis. This year, he's so out in front in people's eyes based on last year and this year, his play. It's going to him. I like the fact that they're mentioned because it makes it interesting, but not a chance.
Here's my thing. I think the MVP award, it's a regular season award. I think we should have the MVP at the end of the year. I think playoffs should matter, right? We always debase the regular season. Everybody's like, oh, Giannis wins the MVP, but he never gets past. Like, we always find a way to demean it. It should be an all season, including the playoff award. With that being said, if it's just a regular season award, I think you have to really account Joel Embiid. I have LeBron as a favorite right now, but they have the best record in the East, and he is playing out of his mind. If he continues to play out of his mind at this rate, and if LeBron has some drop-off without AD, people will use the argument, well, LeBron doesn't have a top 5 player on his team anymore. This is what happens at this age. Joel Embiid is in the conversation. I will take that bet.
Okay, speaking of playing out of his mind in the NBA, Damian Lillard is the most, I guess I had to qualify this word. Damian Lillard is the most underrated player in the NBA. Take it or shake it.
Shake it!
Shake it.
How could he be underrated? He makes $200 and something odd $1 million. He's cooking left and right. He has commercials. His team is missing one of his running mates, and they still are holding on for dear life to make the playoffs. He's doing everything that he's supposed to do. I don't understand. Where is he underrated at?
He's completely underrated, Key.
How so?
Because last year, look, people try to use this thing. 2 years ago, this team went to the Western Conference Finals. 2 years ago, Western Conference Finals. And last year, they were barely making the playoffs. It took an incredible run in the bubble. They've had injuries. Nobody even talked about Dame. Everybody talked about how they struggled. This year, when did we talk about the Portland Trailblazers? People didn't even know they were fourth in the West, though, Keith.
But it's not. He's not underrated, though.
But we don't talk about Dame the way we talk about LeBron.
Yeah,
wait,
LeBron.
I'll give you a prime example. Look at the way we've been talking about Steph Curry this year.
Yeah, but he's not Steph Curry. Steph Curry.
What do you mean he's not Steph Curry?
Because Steph Curry has a lot of equity already built up, Jay. LeBron James has equity built up. They've won championships.
That's why we're saying he's underrated.
But he's not underrated. Just because you're not talking about him every single day, all day. First of all, he's in Portland. It's the Portland Trailblazers. They've never won a championship. Yes. He's on plenty of commercials. He's getting noticed. You see him on all stuff all over the place. He's not underrated. There's no way.
How come we haven't mentioned his name in the MVP conversation? I haven't seen anybody talk about him as an MVP.
You tell me who's going to win the MVP if they are 5, 6, 7, 8 seeding. Nobody gets the MVP. Nobody gets that conversation.
But they're fourth right now. They're fourth. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, and they're trending upwards.
But right now, LeBron is so far out in front of everybody that it's kind of hard to start. You know, last week we started mentioning Steph, but we know Steph ain't gonna get it. You can mention him. Here you go.
Oh yeah,
Dame Lillard mentioned for the MVP. There we go.
I think his name. I think Dame is underrated. Even with the commercials, it's every year he has to put Portland on his back with CJ in order for them to get the notoriety, and they've been deplenished by injuries all the time. Zach Collins injured again. Nurkic injured again. They are winning.
No, I'm talking about like they gotta win. They gotta they got to get to the championship before he can be a name that's out there that you put up with the 2 or 3 or 4 guys in the NBA. It's hard to do when you buried in Portland, but he is not underrated. There's no way.
All right, Zub.
The guy's an all-star. How could he be underrated?
I think being buried.
A lot of all-stars are underrated.
I think being buried in Portland was actually part of the genesis of that question, but we'll see. Okay, the Bucks are frauds. Take it or shake it.
Speak with your chest, Key. Speak with your chest.
Take it!
Take it!
Yeah, look. We thought that maybe getting Giannis some help could certainly have the Bucks in that 1-2 conversation in the East match with the Brooklyn Nets. I felt all along that Glenn Rivers, which is Doc Rivers, who coaches at the 76ers. When he came over from the Clippers, that the Sixers would obviously move up. I was told, I didn't know what I was talking about, but whatever the case may be. I also thought that Milwaukee getting guys like Drew Holiday would certainly help Giannis in the Milwaukee Bucks. That has not happened. I don't know if it's a chemistry thing, when it's going to change, but it hasn't happened, and I don't see him coming anywhere near close to coming out of the East.
I would agree. I think, look, the Bucks are third in the East. They are still, but like I said, they always play well in the regular season. We expect them to play well in the regular season. There was rumors the other day about a potential trade between the Warriors and the Bucks involving Chris Middleton. It'd be interesting to see how these things continue to pan out. But like that's why I said I don't want this to be a regular season award anymore. The MVP, I want it to be an entire, including the playoffs, because I think the Bucks need to go to a different level. I just don't know if they're going to get to that different level this year, and that means getting out of the second round of the playoffs.
We'll wait. That last NBA championship of the Bucks in the early 1970s. They've been
and
close.
Zubin,
Yeah.
we talked about Giannis signing that really big deal, right?
Yep.
What was our window? We said 2 years. If they don't get out of that second round, you're going to start hearing Giannis the same thing. You're like, all right, what's up? What are we doing here? Is Milwaukee the place I need to be long term?
Oh, always remember this. He had 37 days to sign that extension. He signed it on the 31st day. That much money offered, and you think you're a winner, you sign it on day one, not day 31.
Exactly. Thank you.
Not day 31.
Thank you.
I love Zubin.
Exactly.
No, it's easy.
Giving the
You
exact
sign that
days,
money
Keith.
on day one.
I love it, though. He's 31 days.
31
He
days.
should have took it to 37 and a half.
Would have given us more content. What was he doing? We should have had 6 more days to squeeze out of it. With supplies and solutions for every industry, Grainger is always there to help. Call, click Grainger.com/safety or just stop by. On the way, perk your ears up. Deshaun Watson to Carolina? Sam Darnold seeing ghosts in Chicago? Zach Wilson replacing Sam Darnold? Someone has predicted the starting QB for all 32 teams and has those 3 in the mix. That guy joins us next to explain after Jay has this.
That's why you have to stay with us for the next segment, because it's time for some straight talk. Your tax return could look different this year, but you're still going to hear a lot of noise about how to spend it, right? So when the big carriers tell you to splurge on the latest nonsense, do yourself a favor. Just tune it out. With Straight Talk, you can get a Samsung Galaxy A51 for just $199. Plus, get the $45 unlimited talk, text, and data plan with no contract on America's best network for up to 50% less.